And with that, I do not have my models today. As you can see, Emily and Ryan were not going to come today. It will just be me, although at some point Ryan will walk in the middle of this from work. So he'll probably be really loud because he has his AirPods in with voice canceling and whatever. All right, we're gonna hop right in actually and start a little differently than usual today. So you're actually gonna start in tabletop. So your wrists will be under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. So I just learned this the other day. You actually want your knees to be a little closer in than under your hips because that helps keep your back neutral. So we're gonna be warming up the glutes here. So you can start by really engaging the core and making sure your back is staying flat and that neck is neutral. And then you're gonna slowly lift that left leg out straight behind you. So you can't really see me, I'm gonna come sideways for this. So it's out straight behind you, toe flexed. And we're just gonna start pulsing it here. So little pulses up and down with your foot, just so you can see what I'm doing. Little tiny pulses. That toe is flexed down towards the ground. And you'll notice if one hip starts to jump up, really try to press it back down and those hip points should be in line. You can even put a hand on your back if you feel like one hip point is really jumping up and you wanna make sure they're even. All right, 3, 2, 1, you're gonna tap the outside, so tapping out to that left side, bringing that foot to the middle and tapping the right side. So lifting up to the middle, tapping out to the left, middle, and to the right. Again, you're really trying to keep that pelvis in position here. And as I always say, it's not about speed. This can be nice and slow, nice and controlled. So you're tapping. You can challenge yourself by not actually tapping the ground if you want. Good. 3, 2, 1. You're going to drive that knee in and then bringing it up to a 90-degree angle. So that knee is coming in, coming up to a 90-degree angle, back down. So you may feel some hamstring engagement here, really squeezing up and back down. Again, one hip point might really want to come up here. Make sure you're keeping that glute engaged. Good. 3, 2, 1. You're going to tap that foot back out to the outside and then just straight back to the middle. So tapping it to the outside and then dragging it back to the middle. Tapping the outside, back into the middle. That other glute should be starting to burn a little bit. Those hands are planted in the ground. Good. 3, 2, 1. That foot is back in the middle and you're going to be coming to little circles. So bringing that, this doesn't look like I'm really doing a circle, but I promise I am. Just a little tiny circle, and then we'll switch directions halfway through. If those wrists ever start to feel funky, you can always come down on your forearms here instead. Switch directions. A little tiny movement. All right, final 30 seconds, you're bending that knee, and we're just gonna come to pulses at the top. So bringing that foot in the bottom, just little pulses up and down here. Be feeling it a little bit in the glutes? Feeling some firing up? All right, that spine is still in line here. We'll stay here for 10 seconds. Good. 3, 2, 1. You can bring that knee down. You can give your wrists a quick roll. You can also come to some hip circles if that feels good. Just take about 10 seconds, whatever you feel like you need here, and then we'll switch to the other side. All right, so finding that tabletop, knees are a couple inches in here. We'll switch to that other side. In 3, 2, 1. So that right leg sticks straight out. We're starting with those pulses. So that foot is pulsing just an inch up, inch out. Notice that I'm not bringing that hip up here. It's really staying in line the whole time. Good. Again, a small controlled movement. So this is definitely some pretty intense glute activation. I like to do this after my runs. It really helps me get into those glutes. All right, we're tapping to the right this time. Middle, left side. Up to the middle, tapping out to the right, middle, and then to the left. Again, the slower you go, the more those glutes are gonna have to stabilize. You can even try to hold at each end if that feels good. Good, 3, 2, 1, bringing that knee in and driving it up to that 90-degree angle. So knees in, up to that 90 degrees. So notice that when I get to the top, I'm not arching my back. Make sure that back is staying flat that whole time. Driving it up and back down. Depending on your core strength, you may not be able to get it up to totally 90 degrees, and that's fine. All right, we're back to tapping out to the right and then just straight back to the middle. So tapping out to the right side and then just back up to the middle. So here we're getting a little bit into that gluteus medius, so the top part of your glute. So tapping out to the right, squeezing up to the middle. If you have an ankle weight, you can always add an ankle weight onto this if you're feeling, not feeling anything. All right, we're back into that middle. We're in those little little circles again. So circling one way, and then we'll circle the other way. This one always just really kills me. Good, other way, circling around. So you may feel one side is way harder than the other side. That's pretty normal. All right, bringing that knee to a 90-degree angle here. We're doing those final 90-degree pulses. Again, notice back's not arching. Really trying to keep a neutral spine here. 15 seconds left. Good, 3, 2, 1, sit back. You can do the same thing you did on the other side. If you added in those knee circles, you can do that. If you want to give your wrists a little twist, you can do that. All right, so we're gonna quickly, I don't think I had done this at any point, we're gonna quickly go through plank form. So you can find your plank position. I'll do this sideways so you can see what I'm doing. So you can do this on your knees or on your toes. I'll show on the knees and then on the toes. We're gonna work on trying to get your scapula to drop down your back. So you can feel the difference of if you're protracting your scapula versus retracting them. So do that a couple times. Really try to press the scapula up and then feel what it feels to retract them down your back. So pushing them up and then retracting them down. So when you're in a plank, you want to be in the middle. So you don't want to be all the way up here. That's where we are a lot of times in our planks, and you also don't want to be down here. So kind of find that neutral. And then I like to pretend that my hands are being dragged down my mat. So they're not actually moving, but they're dragging, backing down. So find your plank position wherever you are and try to find that neutral. So we're not here, we're also not down here. You're finding that neutral, and then you can add in that dragging feeling to your hands. All right, does everyone feel the difference of when you're really pushing the scapula up versus retracting them down? So we'll be doing a good amount of planks today, so I just wanted to practice that one time before we hopped in. So today we're gonna be doing combos. So we have one exercise and the second, so we'll be doing 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds back to back. First exercise, you'll be doing just, it's like a one-dimensional exercise. The second 30 seconds, you'll be adding an exercise to the first one. So it'll be 2 exercises combined, essentially. And then the third one, you're just adding on another combo essentially into it. So it's 3 combos back to back. It'll make sense when I show you the first one. So the first exercise will be just a crunch essentially. So you can actually have those arms up above you and you'll just be crunching up and then crunching back down. Try to not use those arms too much to pull you up, but you can use them a little bit or else it's gonna be pretty impossible to get up. So that's the first 30 seconds. Second 30 seconds, you're coming up, you're placing those hands behind you, and you're squeezing the hips up into a table. You're coming down, back in. So you're adding those two together. And again, this is what I was saying at the beginning. You can just always stick with the first exercise if you don't want to add on. Or you can do the second but not add on the third. It's up to you. So the third one for the first one, so you're doing that crunch, you're adding onto that table, and then third is adding in a crab reach. So opposite hand, opposite foot, and then you're back down to that crunch, squeezing up into your table, opposite hand, opposite foot. Does that make sense? And then 30 seconds of rest, and we'll repeat that one more time. All right. I'm out of breath already. All right, so starting with just those crunches in 3, 2, 1. So you can have those arms out behind you, squeezing on up. So usually I don't really advise full sit-ups because they're not really the best thing for your butt, but they're the best way to get up, to put your hands down for a table. So really try to engage the core here and not use the arms as much as you can. So we're getting ready to add on that second exercise. You can always just stay in these sit-ups instead. 3, 2, 1. So this time adding on that table, squeezing the glutes, coming down, back into your sit-up. Adding that table if you want, squeezing those glutes up and back down. So you can see this is more of a two-dimensional exercise. You're still moving only in one plane of movement, but you're adding on a little bit more fun, squeezing those glutes up. All right, adding on that third one in 3, 2, 1. So you're coming to that table, opposite hand, opposite foot, coming back down. Again, you can always just stay with the first or the second one if you want. Whew, it's a little bit of a balance challenge. Coming up, opposite hand, opposite foot, coming back down. Those glutes are really squeezed, even on the crab reaches. 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds off. We'll do that one more time. So if that felt really easy, really hard, maybe you want to add on another combination. Maybe you want to take it back to just the second one. Up to you. We'll start in 10 seconds just with those sit-ups again. If you really want to challenge, instead of using the arms, you can always cross them over, but make sure you're not dragging your neck up and down. All right, 3, 2, 1. So we're back at just those sit-ups. If this feels really intense on your hip flexors, don't worry about heading up as much. No, you're good. So keep going there. Oh yeah, okay, yes, I can explain the difference between a crunch and a sit-up. Thanks, Erin. Keep going there. So a crunch, so a sit-up is you're sitting all the way up. A crunch is you're just lifting up off the ground. Does that make sense? All right, so adding on that table, I'll demonstrate in a second. So adding on that table, squeezing up your hips, coming back down. I'll explain it during the 30-second break better. So squeezing up the glutes, we already warmed them up. I miss my models, I feel so lonely. All right, if you want to add on the crab reaches here, you can add that little balance challenge, opposite hand, opposite foot. Coming back down. This is really warming me up. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice rest. Just to explain the difference between a crunch and a sit-up, that was a good question. So I will preface by saying there's no fitness Bible definition of the difference between them, but my personal definition of sit-up is when you're making it all the way to the top. So even if you have the hand on your chest, you're making it up to the top. A crunch, I imagine more of just trying to lift the shoulder blades up So really not going for that full range. Crunches honestly are more effective than a sit-up because once you reach past here, you're not working your core anymore. When you're here, you're not really working the core. So it's kind of like you're doing half of the exercises, not really working anything. But maybe that's the point, who knows? All right, moving on to our second one. So our first exercise is a sumo squat. Sorry that you can only see my bottom half. So those toes are out wide. If that doesn't feel good, you can always just do a normal squat. So we're just doing a sumo squat for that first 30 seconds up and down. If you want to add on, you can add that heel lift. So doing up and down, and then that third is heel lift with pulses at the same time. So again, you can always just stay with your normal sumo squats and not add on. All right, let's go. All right, ready, set, go. So feet are wide, toes turned out. You're just coming up and down into that sumo squat. So much more inner thigh heavy than our other types of squats. Again, that chest is lifted as much as you can, and those glutes are engaged so that your core is engaged too. Fun fact, when your glutes engage, your core engages, but when your core engages, your glute doesn't engage. Fun facts of my day. All right, if you want to add on the heel lift, feel free to add that on. That really fires up the inner thigh. So we're still in our full range, so coming up and down. We haven't gotten to pulses yet. Still lifting up and down. Ah, my inner thighs. This is also a really good balance exercise too. Maybe you even want to add just one heel lifted and then switch off. All right, we're coming to those pulses in 3, 2, 1. So you can stay in the bottom. Again, you can do these pulses with the heels down too. Up to you. Ah, this burns. Good, 15 seconds left. Again, those hips are pushed back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, shake it out. All right, 30 seconds off. So again, thinking if that felt too easy, maybe you want to maybe you want to add those heel lifts if you want to make it easier, taking those off. We'll start in 10 seconds. Whew, my legs are burning. All right, so finding that stance again, if toes turned out feels really hard on your hip flexors, just turn those toes in like a normal squat. They'll be the same thing. 3, 2, 1. So we're going up and down here, sitting the hips back. Sometimes I even like putting my hands on my hip bones to remind myself to press back with my hips. So not letting my knees come forward. Especially when your toes are turned out, it's really easy to press the knees forward. Nice. So remember here, if you want to add on your heels, we'll start in 3, 2, 1, lifting the heels. And we're still going full range, lifting up and down. So sometimes I also will put my hands on my low back to make sure my pelvis isn't tilting. You can put them on your hip bones. If that feels good. Whatever feels best for you. Again, heels lifted even a ½ inch off the ground is hard, so find what feels best for you. All right, we're going to those pulses in 3, 2, 1, finding that bottom. Again, you can lift those heels if you want, up to you. This is our last actual squat of the day. So maybe you want to try to get a little lower here. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Feel free to grab some water. Take a quick breather. All right. Going on to our next exercise. This is definitely more of a core exercise. So your first exercise will be leg lifts. And I think we went over these a couple weeks ago. You really want that lower back to stay on the ground. So lifting those legs up and then lowering them until that lower back comes up and lifting back up. So as soon as those legs hit a point where your back starts inching off the ground, just head back up. Don't worry about pushing past that. So first exercise is your leg lifts. You can lift your head up if you want. I like bringing my head down, doesn't make a huge difference. Second exercise, you're adding in a reverse crunch. So you're doing a leg lift to reverse crunch. Third exercise is leg lift, reverse crunch, toe touch. You're doing a leg lift, reverse crunch, toe touch. So again, you can always just take the leg lifts or you can add on the reverse crunches, so on. I'm gonna be like a broken record reminding you that you can take any progression your heart desires. All right, starting with those leg lifts. Ready, set, go. So just lifting the legs up and down here. I'm trying to make sure so you don't just have to see my butt going up and down the whole time. So again, that lower back is staying down. You can see that I put the diamond under my sacrum just to keep my lower back on the ground better, but if you have a really strong core, you may not need that. All right, adding on that reverse crunch if you want in 3, 2, 1. If you want to add, so you're pushing those hips up, just even a couple inches. You don't have to worry about throwing them up and back. If this feels like too much, you can also bend the knees and tap with the knees bent instead. That's fine as well. One day I'll explain the whole levers thing. It makes a lot more sense. All right, if you want to add on that toe touch, you'll do that leg lift to reverse crunch into that toe touch, back down, leg lifts, reverse crunch, toe touch, back down. So you'll notice that that toe touch takes the momentum out, which actually makes it a lot harder. So we're doing that leg lift, reverse crunch, toe touch. Good, 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds off. We'll do that one more time. So think about how that felt. Too easy, too hard. Again, slowing down will always make things harder. So if you want to slow things down, feel free to do that. We'll start in 10 seconds. I'm gonna move this to the side so you're not looking at my butt straight on. All right, we'll start in 3, 2, 1. So just starting with those leg lifts. I guess that doesn't really help because you're still looking at me. It's fine. Keep going. So really trying to press that lower back down. So you'll notice that your core can triangle here. Really try to press down with the back, and that'll help stop your stomach from triangling, because that means you're really only using the superficial muscles of your core instead of the deep ones that are the strongest. All right, adding on that reverse crunch in 3, 2, 1. So squeezing the hips up, leg lifts, reverse crunch. Making sure to breathe. Sometimes I forget. All right, getting ready to add on that toe touch in 3, 2, 1. Takes so much of the momentum out. "15 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Whew, nice job, everyone. All right, we are halfway through these. So next exercise, first 30 seconds will be, hello down there, will be an inchworm. So just walking out into your plank. We practice the plank, so you can get that down and walking back up. The second 30 seconds, you're walking out into that plank. You're adding shoulder taps. You can also drop down to your knees, do your shoulder taps here. Notice I'm not throwing my hips around, keeping those hips centered. walking back up. Third version, you're coming down, adding on that shoulder tap. You're adding a bottom half burpee. You can also just step in, lift up, step back, walk back in. So one more time, just so you can see, walking out into that inchworm, tap, tap, you can step or jump, coming back into your inchworm. Before you freak out, you get to take whatever level you want. You don't even have to do the bottom half burpee, although I think everyone should try it one time. Whew, I'm out of breath. All right, let's do it, inchworm. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So 30 seconds just walking out into that plank, walking back up to standing. You can even hold that plank for a second at the bottom. All right, getting ready to add on that shoulder tap in 3, 2, 1. So just one time on each shoulder. Again, you can drop down to your knees if you want, and walking back up. So you can see an inchworm is the epitome of a full body exercise. Everything should be working here. All right, we ready to add on that bottom half burpee in 3, 2, 1. So tap, tap, you can step or jump forward, back, and walk back up into your inchworm. I'll show this time with stepping instead of jumping, stepping forward, sitting back. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds off. We'll do that one more time. How'd the bottom half burpee go? Did we make it? Okay, cool, good. No one died. All right, we're doing that one more time. I'm out of breath. That was a lot. All right, we'll start in 5 seconds. Back into that inchworm in 3, 2, 1. So walking out into that plank. And there's no rule. I feel like someone at one point has told the world that with the inchworm you have to keep your legs straight. You can bend them as much as you want. Do not worry about straightening them out. In fact, please do not straighten your legs out. Have a little bend, and then that helps keep the glutes engaged. All right, getting ready to add on our shoulder tap in 3, 2, 1. Nice and controlled, keeping those hips even. 15 seconds. All right, getting ready to add on that bottom half burpee in 3, 2, 1. So you can jump or step in, up to you. If you have really tight hips, feel free to just try to step in, and if that feels too much, you can take out the jump. Whatever feels best for you here. Three, 2, 1, relax. Whew. That was a lot. All right, feel free to grab some water. We got 2 more here. So next one is going to be, actually Jessie came up with this one, so you can all hate Jessie for this. It's a terrible one. It's not my fault, I didn't do it. All right, so the first 30 seconds, you're just holding a plank. So it can be on your hands, it can be on your forearms. The second 30 seconds, you're adding in a row. So elbow up, and you're just going back and forth into your row. And then The third one, the worst one, is going to be row, row. I'm going to show you on your my knees because I don't know. You can do it on my toes. Push up, row, row, push up. So obviously there's a world in which you can do that all on your toes. Feel free to do that. And you can do that entire thing on your knees too. Don't worry about going on your toes for the plank either, up to you. Let's get right into it. So 30-second hold plank, whatever position you want. Practicing finding that neutral scapula. All right, ready, set, go. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I don't get any breaks. But then I realize I just talk the whole time in between. So I'm so out of breath. So again, trying to take that protraction, relax the scapula down your back. Really trying to get into that deep muscles in your core. Getting ready to add that row in 3, 2, 1. So elbow comes straight up. Again, same thing with the shoulder taps. You're really trying to keep those hips as neutral as you can. Again, you can totally do this on your knees, just hugging those elbows straight back. Nice and controlled. 3, 2, adding that push up. So 1, 2 row, and then to a push up. So row, row, into that push up. You all look good. Isabel, try to relax your shoulder blades down a little bit. Just a little, you're good, keep going. Good, 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds off. What I mean, just watch me really fast. So you're still on that push-up coming here, so pushing the shoulder blades up. Try to really drag the hands back so that they're relaxed more on your back. It's such a weird terminology, relax your scapula. It's a weird term. Basically, they're just moving down your spine. I relate to that, Jessie. All right, we're right back in. 3, 2, 1. So finding that plank, you can hold here on your forearms. So I like to imagine here that you're pulling the ground away. That helps me imagine. So pretend those hands are like pushing the ground. You're ripping it apart. And that really helps you get into those upper back muscles that are meant to be helping you here. All right, getting ready for those rows in 3, 2, 1. My other piece of advice too is to bring those feet wide. That'll help you with your base of support. So either coming down on those knees or having the feet wide. Or if this is still too easy, bringing those feet back together. All right, 2 rows and a push-up in 3, 2, 1. Final 30 seconds here. Remember on those push-ups, those elbows come about at a 45-degree angle. Good, 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds off. I literally have sweat dripping down my face right now. Whew. All right, we're on that last combo. So per request of John, even though I think he was joking, winky face, was a hovering table. So basically your first 30 seconds, and I'm actually gonna preface this, I don't think anyone can really realistically hold a hovering table for a minute and a half. So feel free to take some breaks in there. It's gonna be a long time. So for a hovering table, you're basically gonna be in that tabletop position, tucking the toes and just lifting the knees a couple inches off the ground. So I'm going to show you from the front because it'll be easier. So finding that tabletop, you're going to walk 1, 2 forward, 1, 2 back to neutral, 1, 2 back, 1, 2 forward. That's going to be your whole first 30 seconds. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Second 30 seconds, you're going front, back, side, side. So front, front, back, back, side, 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 side. Does that make sense? Just play around with it, have some fun. And then the final 30 seconds, if you want to add on, is once you get back to that middle after you front, down, side, side, you'll be here. You're coming down into your forearms and back up just one time. And then you're going back into your front, into your back, and so on. There's no wrong way to do this. So if you're in that position moving somewhere, you're doing it right. Don't stress too much about, am I up, am I down? You're doing it right, don't worry. All right. Final round, let's go. I know, ouch, relatable. Ready, set, go. So 1, 2 forward, 1, 2 back. So you're just stepping forward, stepping back, and you're always, those knees are a couple inches off the ground. I'm already tired. All right, moving to the side. So coming to the front, coming to the back, back into the middle. You're stepping out to the side, back to the middle, stepping to the other side, back to the middle, back to the front. Ah! Again, remember what I said, if you need to take a break, do it, and then just come back in when you're ready. All right, if you want to add on the middle walk up and down, feel free to add that in. 20 seconds. Really, my advice is just to pretend that you look like a child and then play around. All right, 3, 2, 1. Mother of pearl. That was quite difficult. All right, 30 seconds off. We're doing that. One final time. If your wrists hurt, you can definitely try to do it on your forearms, but it is a lot harder. Yeah, mother of pearl is my, or oh my Lanta. That's what Gabby always says. All right. I'm literally sweating so much. 3, 2, 1. So back to that forward and back. That did not feel like 30 seconds of rest. Good. So just 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Maybe I took the hovering table thing to an extreme. All right, second 30 seconds, adding in those side steps. And then coming forward and back again. I'm taking my break. I think my talent as a fitness instructor is that this is as hard for me as it is for you. I can guarantee that. Okay, final 30 seconds. If you want to add the walk in, up, down, feel free to do that. All right, final 15 seconds here. All right, 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right, we have a final 3 minutes of an AMRAP. It's not impossible, I promise. So first we're gonna be doing 10 one leg hip bridges per. McKenna wanted to work on these. So you're finding that hip bridge, you're lifting one leg up, and you're just doing 5 hip bridges on one leg, 5 hip bridges on the other leg, and then you're doing 10 plank to ankle taps. So you're doing 10 total, so 5 on each side, but just 10 total. So you're in that plank position and you're tapping your calf or your ankle. And then finally, one leg deadlifts. So you'll start on one leg, you're tipping at the hips. You can tap the ground if you want. Again, working on that balance, hinging forward and back up. You're doing 5 on each side there. All right, so 3 minutes, you're doing as many rounds of those 3 exercises in 3 minutes. Each rep, to make it less confusing, is 10. So if you're doing 2 different, like 2 sides of things, you're doing 5 of each. All right. I'm gonna set my timer for 3 minutes and we'll get going. So starting with this one leg hip bridges. Ready, set, go. So 5 on each side. Really squeezing that glute. And then when you're done with your 5, you're going to the other side. And then when you're done with those, you're coming to your plank to ankle taps. 10 total. When you have done 10 of those, you'll come to 10 one leg deadlifts. So 5 on each side. And then you'll come right back to the beginning. Really squeezing the glutes on those deadlifts. All right, we are minute 15 in. As soon as you're done, you're going right back to the beginning. All right, we've got 1 minute left here, trying to get the last couple reps in here. My balance is not my strength. All right, final 30 seconds. Trying to get a last few couple reps before we're done. Final 15 seconds. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. You did it, yay! Nice job, everyone. All right, we'll do a couple stretches and then you will be done. You can, let's start with our butterfly. So bringing those feet together, especially those sumo squats, really got into the inner thigh. So don't necessarily try to press the knees down, really just try to elongate that spine. And then while keeping that spine long, you can try to press forward a little bit. So rather than just curving into that C, pressing forward with the spine. Can't see my eyes. I look like a robot. And give yourself some neck rolls if that feels good too. All right, you can bring that left leg out and cross your right leg over it. If you'd rather have a glute stretch, you can kind of hug that knee in towards you. If you'd rather have a spinal stretch, you can take that left elbow and tuck it and kind of get into the spine. If that feels like a lot, you can also just hold on to your leg and then turn as much as feels comfortable. We talk a lot about obliques in here. Don't push past where your spine is telling you, please stop. So find that point and respect it. I learned this from McKenna, but your body tells you a lot of things that we ignore all day. And so in times like this, it's nice to, if your spine is telling you, please stop, you gotta listen to it. All right, other side, crossing that leg over. Again, if you want more of a glute stretch, you can hug that knee in towards you. If you wanna get more into that spine, you can tuck that elbow, or you can just kind of turn comfortably here. I'm like so sweaty right now. Is my apartment hot? Like, is it just me? All right, you can cross those legs in the middle. We'll come to a neck stretch. So you can bring that right arm out. So if it feels good, you can just kind of leave it hanging, or if you want to keep it on the ground, and then you're going to slowly start and bring that head towards your shoulder. Sometimes it feels, okay, thanks, John. It feels better with the hand lifted, or maybe it feels better with that hand on your ground. You're just getting some of that length from your neck all the way down into your deltoid. So you can use your hand to press your head back to the middle, and then we'll switch to the other side. Same thing, you can keep that arm out or bring it on the ground and slowly bring that chin to the other side. Good, you can bring that hand back into the middle, and we'll come to some shoulder rolls. So again, playing around with that scapula, your deltoid, maybe you wanna bring that maybe one arm at a time into those circles, trying to get some movement into our thoracic spine. That's pretty much the only part of your spine that should be mobile. Your lumbar spine should not be mobile. Your cervical spine should not be mobile. But this thoracic spine is what can move a little bit. And then switch directions, other way around. I know this looks silly, but it is so good for you. We never move this part of our body, and all the fascia just starts building up on your ribs. And then you get to that point where you can see old people who get so rigid. So you can have some fun with it. All right, we'll finish with some wrist circles because we did a lot of planks today. So finish out with those wrists. Can dance a little bit. All right, you made it. With that, we are done. I would love if you guys are interested, if you're not part of GW and you want to come to the Tuesday class. I asked on Tuesday, but let me know if there's a time on Tuesday that usually works best so I can try to get a quorum of people. If you go to GW or are part of the GW community, then it will be Thursday at 2:30 core and glutes every week. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll stay around for a couple minutes as usual, answering any questions. But with that, this was really hard and I feel very sweaty and tired. So good job, everyone. And thanks, Jessie, for being my inspiration.